It's made of two words. Mu for martial, and rim for the forest. It's a world of martial artists who compete against each other using their strength. It's a world where people use their superhuman physical abilities strengthened by inner chi, combined with profound martial arts with enlightenment as its foundation, to challenge each other for supremacy. They soar high in the skies with one jump, and split the earth with a single strike of the sword. This is the legend of Woon Hyen, a newly appointed scholar who ranked first in the imperial examination and was assigned to the Crown Prince's direct institution, the Azure Dragon Hall. In the large and destitute Forbidden City, he met the people he could trust, learned from his respectable sworn brother, researched the legacy of the martial knowledge left by his preceding scholars, and eventually became an expert who left a significant impact in the Murim. This can't be. Just who is the person that sent me this letter? Arg. As expected of the solitary swordsman. It was a good match. Good match. Did you really call this dismal display of sword fighting a good match? Ha ha ha. A frog in a well, so they say. I didn't know there were heavens beyond heavens. Today, I've realized the Tao of the sword I must aim for. Just what could be in the letter for him to act like that? Heaven beyond. These are difficult letters. Dragon sword. Ruler. Beyond heaven's reach Azure Dragon Sword Ruler. Have you ever heard of the name, Beyond Heaven's Reach Azure Dragon Sword Ruler? I am the disciple of the Azure Dragon Sword Ruler. I deceived you, but you don't question me. The Azure Dragon Sword Ruler may be the owner of the heavenly mystical scroll. Bring him alive. Wait. That man is Azure Dragon Sword Ruler. I sincerely apologize for my lack of courtesy at such a crucial moment. Who asked you to publish such a presumptuous report? A study on the history of Murim, huh? Who in the world needs your thoughts or opinions? His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. No one cares about your point of view. What the Crown Prince wants is a vivid outlook on Murim. Go do it again. Isn't he the Jinsher, Woon Hyun, who passed the final examination securing the first rank at such a young age? It won't be long before he quits too. A majestic castle surrounded by high and thick walls and a deep moat. Within it lies the main palace in the form of a gigantic symmetrical building and halls having a golden double roof. The heart of the continent where all wealth under the heavens gathers. The Forbidden City. TSK. To come here, I memorized over 430,000 characters, numerous commentaries, and scriptures. I even took 5 imperial exams to become a Jinsher. And the first assignment I got from the Crown Prince was mere research on Murim. In the first place, what in the world are Shaolin and Wudang? Besides, any references I find in the Crown Prince's personal library are mere garbage. They are total nonsense without any in-depth review. I wonder why they are still referred to as references. My minimal report offered a keen insight into the problems of a society riddled with idiosyncrasies and even suggested feasible solutions. All that to be rejected. Guess what? I will write it again. And make you realize how extraordinary I am. 3 days later do it again. After another 3 days do it again. After another 3 days. Again. Sigh. What should I do? I feel like I'm facing an insurmountable wall. I can't rely on those queasy books from the Crown Prince's library. Now I can only count on one place. The treasury of books and calligraphy, belvedere of literary profundity. This is the only place I can rely on now. Many scholars can only dream of visiting this place. But why do I feel so miserable here? Can I find any leads to satisfy the taste of the Crown Prince? What if I am laid off like this? Would I have to go help my uncle in Guangzhou? My, isn't this the imperial scholar, Wu Hyun? Who are you? Scholars are forgetful. I guided you around the Azure Dragon House earlier. Excuse my manners. I am happy to see you here like this. There is no problem with your manners. Now that I think of it, I don't even know your name. My name is Q, and I use the family name Park. I see. You are Eunuch Park. What are you doing here? As the person I serve is looking for a book, I came here to seek it. I heard you are staying in this royal palace now. How does it feel to be here? I am only enshrined in the grace of His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. I am doing well. I won't fall for that. It's good that we are doing well. I am terribly sorry for stopping you on your way. I will excuse myself. Hey. Wait for a second. So His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, wants the stories of Murim. That should be very interesting. How about sword fighting between experts? I remember he was once enthralled by the stories of one of the Murim experts that visited the palace. I guess he has gathered some books and recordings. Of Murim, too. Ho. After all, imperial annals are not known to be entertaining. They are only full of dry, complex, and complicated stories. Maybe that's why His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, required a scholar. He needed someone competent enough to reconstruct and organize the records in the imperial palace in an exciting way. Is that so? Why did his face get stiff? A scholar who is intelligent and loyal. If you steer your study in that general direction, it should not be too far away. Please, excuse me. For some reason, I did feel something wrong from the beginning. The Azure Dragon House, where I work, is also located in the corner of the Internal Affairs Department. And only 2 scholars work in that building. Mr. S.A. Ilchin and I have been eager to have my skills recognized by the Crown Prince. However, my actual job is just a scholar in charge of the Crown Prince's hobbies. Suddenly, I recalled a verse from the Song of Persuasion. A library is a bag full of rice grain. A library is a golden house. A library is a girl who looks like jade. I guess the library was really someone's house. Just not mine. 1 month later. There are around 37,000 miscellaneous books that I can read in the Belvedere of literary profundity. I have already checked their titles and skipped about 1,000 books during the last month. Out of the remaining 36,000 books, even if only 1 out of 100 is about Murim, that makes a total of 360 books. Even if I read 1 book a day, it will take me a whole year. Though, it would be fortunate if I could read 1 book a day. Out of the 17 books I found after a spending month, I have only read 9. It will take me 3 years to read them all at the current pace. However, reading is not the only issue. I can't understand a thing from them. Besides, understanding is not the end either. I need to reconstruct it into a story that can satisfy the taste of the Crown Prince. The more I think about it, the worse it gets. I can't just sit here and do nothing. There is one more thing I can do. The 5th stance. These muscleheads would be pretty challenging to talk to, right? Is the guy with a beard the instructor? What can I help you with? Oh, I didn't mean to scare you. Are you all right? I am okay. What just happened? He doesn't seem to have Herculean strength. How did he lift me up so easily? I guess you are from a civic department. What business brings you here? Ah, I am Woon Hyun, a scholar of the Azure Dragon House. Actually, I wanted to ask some questions about martial arts. Martial arts. Does it have any use for you at all? I don't think anybody is crazy enough to lay a finger on a scholar of the Forbidden City. Ah, it's not that. I was not going to use it, but... Greetings, Vice-Rector. Greetings, Vice-Rector. Keep on training. Guess he is pretty high up. Sorry for the late introduction. I'm Il Chung-hyun, the Vice-Rector of Imperial Guards. I am a scholar of the Azure Dragon House. I think I've already heard that. Why don't we move somewhere else? Ah. Sure, let's do that. I can understand Scholar Woon's situation. Can a scholar ask for martial arts training from the Vice-Rector of the Imperial Guards? What am I going to do if I hurt this person's ego? I also belong to the Imperial Palace, just like Scholar Woon. Moreover, it doesn't suit me as a Vice-Rector to pretend not to know now that I have heard about your circumstances. So then, I guess I cannot say no to your request. Thank you. Vice-Rector Il. However, there is a problem. Problem. Like what? I am the Vice-Rector of the Imperial Guards. I know of only one way of teaching martial arts. If Scholar Woon wants to learn about martial arts, you must train yourself. But I just want to know a little about martial arts. I am not a storyteller but a Vice-Rector. I have no skill to describe the 18 classes of Imperial martial arts. It's not like I can become a jester anytime soon, can I? I guess so. So if I want to comprehend those books, I must train. Are you ashamed of training in martial arts? That's impossible. How can I be ashamed when the Vice-Rector is personally teaching me? I will accommodate some time in the morning. You may come here starting tomorrow. And there is no need to worry about others. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I will do just that. He thinks he can learn martial arts, but he has no clue about it. He is just a scholar. Soon he will get tired and quit. Well then. Take care. Sigh. Now I, a scholar, need to learn martial arts. Wouldn't it be better to just continue struggling with books? Am I not a scholar of the Crown Prince? I must gain recognition from His Royal Highness for doing a great job with my assignment, even if it requires me to train in martial arts. As if going through all these books wasn't enough, now I even need to learn martial arts. A report on the holistic approach to the Murim, source. Handed down to the aristocrats dealing with Murim. Wow, what a long title. It looks like a report written in the Imperial Palace. This book looks like it's brand new. Forward. Following the supreme and overflowing grace of His Majesty the Emperor, who by the will of the heavens sat down on the dragon throne, I, a scholar of the House of the White Tiger, was entrusted with the duty of House of the White Tiger. A scholar of the House of the White Tiger. This so-called House of the White Tiger. Where? No, since when did it exist? More importantly, there seems to have been another person in the past who was interested in the same things as the Crown Prince. The author of this book. He must be something like my senior. I wonder if there is going to be anything helpful here. 1 year later. We will start with the first 12 forms of the white striking technique. Vice-Rector Il Chung-hyun, Vice-Rector Du Jin. Oh. Doesn't he have a pretty good stance, Vice-Rector Du? It's fine. No, it's actually a perfect stance. His foot positioning is precise, and his movements are neat without unnecessary motions. His breathing seems stable, and he is looking in the proper direction. He doesn't seem to have picked up any bad habits either. judging by the smooth transition from one stance to the other. He seems to have correctly understood the purpose of each stance. All things considered, you could say that he is pretty good, even better than expected. You made a point there. Scholar Woon has indeed fully understood the essence behind every single motion in each form. That is the reason for his excellent stance, just as one would expect from Vice-Rector Il. To think he could train a mere scholar to this level in only 1 year. Why did it have to be such a slow form? That is because he has not fully mastered the motions yet. No wonder I could not feel any kind of vigor in his movements. What a shame. If only he had enough experience, he might have been an ideal candidate to teach. Though I guess he does not even meet the physical requirements in the first place. If he had the necessary physique and expertise, he probably would have become an officer in the military. Not a scholar. Don't you think? By the way, Scholar Woon's strong point isn't his excellent stance. Phew. Scholar Woon, go on and finish the final 12 forms of the white striking technique. After that, you do some sword training with Vice-Rector Du. Since Vice-Rector Du is exceptionally skilled with the sword, I am sure he will be of great help to you. HAA. Has he not learned any sword skills yet? He learned the basic stances not too long ago. You don't have to teach him anything new. However, you might have to answer some of his queries every now and then. Queries. Well then, I will leave him in your care, Vice-Rector Du. All right. Goodbye. He has been teaching martial arts to a mere scholar here. If he had acted a little brighter, he could have quickly become a high-ranking officer. To think that an upright heart would hold back from a successful career. But a scholar is still a scholar, and in the end, a scholar's martial arts are just gymnastics. Thank you for your effort, Vice-Rector Du. Good job, Scholar Woon. I'll be heading back now. A training session as hard as this is new even to me. Looks like I am a bit late. Vice-Rector Il. Did Scholar Woon leave? Yes, he left not too long ago. How did the training go? I am sure you were a bit flustered by Scholar Woon's questions. Yes, I have never encountered a student like that. I know that. He asked me questions like, what is a sword, out of the blue, and showed interest in every tiny detail. And when I answered them, he took notes of everything I said. But it was still fun, right? Honestly, it's been a while since I lost track of time while using my sword. I wonder if it's thanks to Scholar Woon, the breeze is refreshing. That even the cold-hearted Vice-Rector Chun Gayun softened up a bit. However, I will pass this offer the second time. Ha ha ha. Let's see, Vice-Rector Du's sword technique from today is probably... Ah yes, found it. It was some gorgeous and powerful swordsmanship, but this is not the one. It's completely different. Could it form be a different location? The form that Vice-Rector Il showed me was at least somewhat similar. I wonder whose technique is wrong. Still, they are the Vice-Rectors of the Imperial Guards. I doubt that 2 Vice-Rectors can get their techniques wrong. In that case, wouldn't it mean that this report is faulty? The essential core of martial arts was systematically and holistically reported from the scholar's perspective. Is what it says, but how is one supposed to believe that? A book that he wrote after researching all his life. I have no other choice than to confirm it with my own eyes. The weight and feel are incomparable to a real sword. This way, I might get the form wrong. If only I could use a practice sword. But if I, a scholar, were to walk around with a sword. I would probably be in big trouble. Phew. I think I made a mistake during the middle form. Probably because this is only a stick and not a real sword. Swordsmanship should be continuous and smooth, but the beginning and the end should always be consistent. He obsessively wrote down the requirements in incredible detail. Maybe Vice-Rector IL will be able to understand the essence of this report. No, I may be a scholar, but right now, I am someone learning from Vice-Rector IL. He might get offended if I were to show up with this book and ask him to teach me its content. According to this report, if one fully masters these 12 boring forms, one will be able to see that the whole world is full of chi. This sounds in line with what Vice-Rector IL told me. All masters are masters of inner strength. How was this? Vice-Rector IL. How in the world did you? With only little training, those born with outstanding power in their legs can easily jump as high as I did. However, no matter how strong your arms may be, a sword swung mid-air will never be able to leave a mark like this on the ground. Although compared to true masters of martial arts, this is nothing more than just child's play. Are you saying this is possible with only breathing training? Well, breathing is only the first of the many steps in mastering the inner strength. To summarize, breathing can be seen as taking natural chi into your body and releasing it back. It is like being a part of the universe's cycle and becoming one with nature. Chi is a form of energy that fills the whole world. It is the origin of the universe and the power of existence itself. Now shall we proceed with the stance training? Wait a minute. It's only been 6 months since I started training the report forms from the report. They say that even a skilled soldier needs to repeat one stance at least 10,000 times to barely get the hang of the proper movements and 100,000 times to vaguely understand the essence of it. In that case, how much longer would it take for a scholar? Probably a lifetime, right? Phew. I still have a long way to go. Let's just focus on training again. 4 years later. Scholar Woon seems to be getting the hang of it now. Even though he still sounds the same. Well, a scholar remains a scholar. Lately, the topic of his questions has changed as well. Earlier, it used to be all about martial arts, but nowadays, it has been more about some secret records that he read at the Belvedere of Literary Profundity. Secret records. They are probably meant for his own report that he has to write. Scholar Woon sure is lasting a long time with both martial arts and his report. You seem to be enjoying yourself, Vice-Rector IL. Well, isn't it the same for you? Vice-Rector do. You even helped him with the training and came by every now and then. I guess I can't deny that now. I have a matter to attend to, so I will take my leave, Vice-Rector IL. Take care, Vice-Rector do. What was that? It felt like a completely new presence. Ha! Could it be a cry of the sword? Scholar Woon. Could it be that you are separately studying a different sword technique? I'm busted. How long has it been since you studied this sword technique? It's been a bit less than 5 years. So he has been practicing by himself in secret for 5 years now. He is a more reckless and sincere person than I thought. Is he mad? Fortunately, it does not seem to derive from the demonic path. It is a rather monotonous sword technique but stresses a neat and accurate stance. Judging by what it says about realizing that the whole world is full of chi after studying this sword technique, I believe that this is a training form to strengthen one's inner chi. Inner chi. I was worried that you might fall into chi deviation while recklessly practicing, but what a relief. I am sorry, Vice-Rector IL. It doesn't seem to be in this book. What is the name of the sword form? No specific name was stated, so I called it Report Sword Form. That does sound like a name you'd give. Naming a sword form like that won't do. Since the author of this book is a scholar of the House of the White Tiger, from now on, we shall call this sword the White Tiger Training Sword Art. The White Tiger Training Sword Art. What a great name. I feel at ease after telling him the truth. He even gave me this wooden sword. I guess, to perceive the author's conclusion on the source of martial arts, I will just have to keep practicing and reach a conclusion myself. Phew. Let's give it a shot. No matter if it takes 2 hours or 4 hours. 10,000 times or 100,000 times, from now on, I will focus solely on the sword style with the 12 forms. I don't know how long I spent every day swinging my wooden sword just like I did for the past 5 years. During that time, the seasons in the Forbidden City changed several times. I do not exactly know when. But the dual records that I couldn't understand at first started to make sense to me, and I was able to picture the forms in my mind. And when there were no more books for me to read in the library, S.A. Ilchin, the manager of the Azure Dragon House, summoned storytellers who had seen Murim masters in action. The more I listened to their stories, the clearer I could picture the swordsmanship of those masters in my mind. E.W. Inc. 7 years later. The conclusion of the White Tiger Training Sword Form. Yes. That's it. It passed through my mind like an arrow without warning. The White Tiger Training Sword Form is 12 different voices that reach the same conclusion. Form 12 always called for the true Form 1. Form 1 appears with soft footsteps and whispers. Form 5 calmly smiles, Form 9 forgets everything by the figure of a glancing beauty. And with the 12th form, I become one with the White Tiger Training Sword Form. The conclusion of the White Tiger Training Sword Form connected thing. This flow was always there within the sword techniques I found in countless books from the library in the past years. Ranging from the heavy sword of Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun, to the showy sword of Vice-Rector Du Jin, and even the swords of the experts fighting in the stories from the storytellers. There is no logic, no evidence, no reason. Everything is meaningless because of the separation of forms, the path of the sword. This is what it means heaven and earth are full of chi. Like leaning towards eternity. Alas! Was it a dream? If it was just a dream, then what is this heat and longing filling up my heart right now? Grow up, man, a scholar with tears. What a shame. Oh, it's late now. It's evening already. Anyway, the wooden sword is broken. What should I tell the Vice-Rector Il? Good morning, oh, Eunuch Park. Wait. It's morning. Azure Dragon House. So how did it go? Did the head of the Morong family accept the duel? It's been 7 years since I started gathering and recording the stories of the experts' duels from the witnesses. I want to skip it all and just swing the sword. However, they could not just ignore it when the honor of such a reputable family was insulted. So the head of the Morong family, Dan Chun Morong, accepted the duel with the Iron Family Guild Master. Muwung Cheol. As a result, there was no head-on collision. A head-on collision could not happen. How dare anyone shed blood in Hunan province, under the authority of the Shaolin Temple? The Shaolin won't interfere with struggles over supremacy but will step in to stop the actual fights between sects. So the two factions decided to fight in a duel competition. First of all, 9 disciples from each faction fought each other. Should I tell you about each and every one of them? It's okay. I can hear that part later. Let's talk about something more substantial. Of course, you are a man of good taste. Well, I will skip all tidbits and tell you about the main duel. Regardless of how the disciples did, the conclusion came from the leader's duel. Iron Family Guild Master, 1/Muwung Cheol, and the head of the reputable Morong family, the official first sword, Dan Chun Morong, stood on the stage. The situation was slightly worse for the Murong family. The first disciple, Jin Murong, lost absurdly in many small sects abandoned them, official first sword Dan Chun Murong. And now he had to fight against the blade of Muwang Chiol 1/Muwang Chiol as expected. Muwang Chiol began striking first, boldly unfolding the blade of Muwang Chiol. But Dan Chung Murong cancelled anomalous attacks with the calm path of his sword. He also attempted some sharp attacks in between. What's wrong all of a sudden? The head of the Murong family won, right? What? No, I just thought that's what would happen. I see. The duel ended with the defeat of the first official first sword, Dan Chun Mur. The Murong family head lost. Yes, he lost. So, the reputable Murong family lost its supremacy in Hunan province. No, wait. There's no way that the head of the Murong family would lose. Maybe you misunderstood something. Misunderstood. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Sir. You have not seen it personally, yet why? No, I mean. At the end, didn't the head of the Murong family do this kind of sword form? Ugh, it is ink splashing. I don't know what kind of sword form that is. But the official first sword, Dan Chun Murong, did not have that sort of sword form. Of course, it could be a bit different, but if I think about the flow of the Murong family sword, it can't be. It was a duel he could have won. Why did he lose? Belvedere of literary profundity. Ugh. I can't stop imagining the scene of Dan Chun Murong winning the duel with the final sword form. Why is this happening? Greetings, Scholar Woon. Ah. Eunuch Park. You came to grab books again. Yes, I thought I heard your voice when I was passing by. Well. I know you are very worried. But don't be so heartbroken, Yeez. And no, that was. High officials are doing it, so I must assume that the decision was made after profound thoughts. Scholar Woon was very close to the Vice-Rector Il, so. What are you talking about, Eunuch Park? Did something happen to Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun? No way. You have not heard about it. Rebellion. Stand up. I know it's so ridiculous. But for now, there is no way. Damn, what am I doing here? Pardon. Where is Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun prisoned? I need to visit him. Snap, you shouldn't go there, Scholar Woon. Why not? What do you say no for? I can't believe he rebelled. I have to go and. What can you do by going there? Isn't it obvious? I must reveal that it is an unfair plot. Scholar Woon, who doesn't know it's an unfair plot. In fact, rebellion is just an excuse. If that were true, it would already be an issue long ago. This is just a purge. Purge. Yes, like one clique banishing its opponents. Calm down, have a seat. I'll explain everything in detail. Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun. Scholar Woon. This place isn't good for you. Go back. Vice-Rector. How could I not come to see you when you are unfairly prisoned? Thankfully, it was not that strict to come in here. How foolish can you be? Pardon. It would never be simple to meet a prisoner with treason charges. Why would they let you get in? Why don't you notice this all is also monitored? Do you mean it was intentionally done to find collusion? Return if you got the point. If they notice, you would also get in trouble. It's okay. Whatever it could be. There are no more things to lose on me. Ha! But Vice-Rector. You lost your life and prestige through such a sly plot. What else could be more unfair than this? Oh, dear. It can't be happening. It should not. Once upon a time, I also used to think that being a warrior is more than just about strength. However, following my poor father's will, I left Jianhu and got involved with the army. Since I felt infuriated because of the men of Jianghu harming others for little profit, I took a job of martial arts vice-rector. Even though it was a sinecure, I believed it was meaningful. I have never forgotten my father's instruction. With great power comes great responsibility. God did not let my path lead to death. In the long run, this was be my destiny. Vice-rector. Just call me brother. Don't you like it? I mean. Yes, brother. I'm okay with it. It sounds way better. Come to think of it, you and I have met for 10 more years. It's not a typical tie. Pawn. Ha. Now you are a little brother of Il Chunghyun. You should not have too many tears. Calm down and relax. Is there truly no way to prove your innocence? I can't let you away. If I show off my true skills that no one knows in this palace, escaping prison might be a piece of cake. But although I may successfully escape from here, only the innocent would bleed. I have seen too many scenes in this forbidden city with a rampage of scheming. Even if you are right, sometimes you need to back off one step. Brother. I want to ask my little brother for one thing. Please hold my stuff I am giving to you. It would be great if you send them to my family. There would be one small ring. It is yours. I want to give you something, but I only have one of those. So, would it be our last training for you and me today? It is sad to not be able to see the conclusion of White Tiger training sword art. Could you show it to me once more for the last time, brother? To be honest, I have seen its conclusion. No way did he sense the essence of the sword. It might be difficult for the martial master of the Jianghu to see it as well. Did the scholar, not even a person from Murim, see it? I definitely saw it. I don't know. I can't say I got it because I didn't understand, convince, or anything. It was not explained to myself neither what it was. It is even hard to say I was awakened. I just saw it. That's it. Congrats, my brother. The reason to leave the swordsman training technique is only that the awakening can't be described in words. That's why it is natural of you to not be able to explain it. Right. Could you show the conclusion for me? But there is no wooden sword, and here is. Stand and take your pose. Okay. Close your eyes and imagine a sword you. Before slowly reach your hand out to grab the sword, but wait for the sword to be fully and clearly in your mind. Phew. I can see it. The typical bluntness of the familiar wooden sword. I feel it as if it's actually on me. Scholar Woon and me. Both of us have changed so much. I bet my entire life for my country and people as a part of the army while giving up the dream of Jianghu, here, full of connections and schemes more than loyalty and skill. I was deprived of even an opportunity. For past me living like an exile in the forbidden city. Your questions made me instead answer them to myself. Thanks to you, I could get out of frustration and find meaning in life little by little. You said you are thankful to meet me. Is what my brother showing truly the White Tiger training sword art? I do know what the paths of the sword and his movements are, but how can it be so unfamiliar? Aha! I see. Some variations in flow that I cannot even know. You became more professional than me. I can't believe his state. Phew. Oh, there was actually one more thing to leave for you. The first competitor are not the others but yourself. If you can't handle the power, power will dominate you, and it will finally lead you to destruction. So be the one who can control the heart and sword by always keeping honesty. Ugh ugh. Sniff sniff. Ugh. Don't get caught in the favor and spite of Jianghu if possible. Just train the sword. I will never forget. I will never forget that I am your brother. Sniff so brother. Please, please. It's quite tiring to transfer all my skills. Woon Hyun. You could make your own technique with all the skills I have trained you in. Please use it in a meaningful way. Smile. The Palace of the Azure Dragon. It was indeed a place for a dragon. Scholar Woon. Vice-Rector Guan Cheol Hoon. What brings you here to this place? I was just passing by. Why don't you come to the training ground anymore? What should I do there when no one welcomes me there? Other people are making fun of you. Everyone knows that you were the one who had the keepsakes of Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun and that you were the last person to see him. If you slack off just because of this, people will definitely laugh at you. They will say that the person to whom Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun entrusted his back was just a feeble scholar. Or. Caress. Ha. I'll do it. I will. How can I ignore what you said, brother? More. Belvedere of Literary Profundity. Scholar Woon. Ah, Eunuch Park. It's been a while. Have you been well? I'm always the same. But it looks like you're doing something interesting, right? Something interesting. Ah, this. It's nothing. I just have some time to spare, so. What do you mean you have time to spare? I heard that Scholar Woon went to the Imperial Guard's training ground every day, and that you were also the last person to come out of the Belvedere of Literary Profundity, though. That's true. But there's hardly any rush for reports these days, and the summoning of storytellers has also been less frequent. His Highness, the Crown Prince, must have found a different hobby. If you wait, Scholar Woon may have some good news later. No, I'm okay with this. It's rather strange how I've been so busy. I think this is actually what the daily life of the Azure Dragon Hall's scholar looks like. Then I'll take my leave first. Yes, please take care of yourself. I hope everything's fine. In this forbidden city where the devils are hiding. I just hope someone with an honest heart like Scholar Woon could stay a little longer. Since we never know when those who falsely accuse Vice-Rector Il Chunghyun will kick him out of the Forbidden City. Seriously, me and my hobby of poking my nose into other people's businesses. What a troublesome life I have. Kiki. Woon Hyun's residence. 1/Muang Cheol Zhangzhou Cheol family head versus First Sword Dan Chun Murang Hunan Province Murang family head. No matter how much I think about it, there's no way the head of the Murong family could lose against Muang Cheol. Did he lose on purpose? No, there's no reason for that. But does it make sense that he doesn't know his family's sword technique? There's no way the head of the prestigious Murong family doesn't know what I know. Or did his point of view become narrower because of his family's long tradition? Well, the last sword form I recalled came from the same sword flow. But in a way, it's more of an improvisation. For that reason, in the end, the Murong family head would have no choice but to miss the final sword form. I saw through what a martial master like the Murong family head had missed. At this rate, maybe I am simply too arrogant. Thinks highly of oneself. What was I even thinking about? He who does not know his own shortcomings is garbage. He who feels ashamed of his weakness and lack of discipline is a martial master. How could a martial master who has devoted his life to martial arts not know what I know? But what if I'm right? If he's obsessed with his family's traditional view and still doesn't know what he's overlooking, won't he need some friendly advice? What advice? I have to stop with this ridiculous nonsense. Even the trainees who have just joined the Imperial Guard do not want to receive instruction from others. Why would someone who fought for the dominance of a province listen to a scholar's advice? That's it. I only have to write it anonymously. I'm not expecting a thank you reply anyway. It's already more than a dozen pages. Is it because I haven't written a report yet? Was it because of my frustration? I did write it myself, but this is truly impressive. But it'll be obscene if I send it like this. It's still better to sign it somehow, right? Should I just go with Azure Dragon Scholar? No, I'm sure he'll take it lightly if I say I'm a scholar. As I have been abandoned alone in this heaven beyond, the Forbidden City, and became a scholar of the Azure Dragon Hall while learning to control the sword. Who else is this but me? Beyond heaven's reach Azure Dragon, Sword Ruler. Beyond heaven's reach Azure Dragon, Sword Ruler. It sounds surprisingly good. Should I ask Eunuch Park to leave this letter at the transportation agency tomorrow? Hunan Province. House of Murong family. Ha. It seems like yesterday when this place was always noisy. This quiet atmosphere has been here for several months, but it is still unfamiliar to me. How long are you gonna stay at this small summer house, grandfather? Welcome back, miss. Good morning, Sir General Manager. Granddaughter of Dan Chun Murong Mi Murong. How is my grandfather doing? He seems awake. Oh. All right. And a letter has been sent for the Lord. A letter. It arrived late last night from the transportation agency. Did they say who sent it? They didn't. The sender's name isn't mentioned anywhere. The paper looks luxurious, though. Would it possibly be a letter to ridicule the defeat suffered by Muwung Cheol? I'll give it to him. Is there anything else to notify especially? No, there isn't. What about Jean Murong, my elder brother? The great disciple is still at that place. Okay. Are you still living a life of debauchery, unable to escape defeat of that day, brother? You should now set your mind straight. Grandfather, your granddaughter is here. Family head of Murong household Dan Chun Murong. How have you been since last night, grandfather? Here is a letter from the post office. Grandpa, you might stop. You are good to go. Let me bring a cup of tea for you. Poor girl. This grandfather of yours isn't good enough and even makes you suffer. How tired you must be to sustain the downhill family fortune with that frail body. Since it's all my fault, I'm the one who should step forward, but my pride as a warrior can't tolerate it. What a shame to make one's granddaughter suffer. Sigh. Confidential letter for the head of the Murong family. Beyond heaven's reach Azure Dragon, Sword Ruler. Confidential letter to the Murong family head from Beyond Heaven's Reach Azure Dragon, Sword Ruler. The handwriting is quite flowing and elegant. But some people still use such old-fashioned titles. These subordinates send me a letter even if I once lost. Are they making fun of me? It's about the duel as I expected, but it's interesting. Pointing out what I overlooked in the duel, at least this guy is not a random bastard. But these are what I already realized easily. Although I realized it before. It would not affect the duel's result. What is the point of this guy reminding me of this through the letter now? With the typeface, it seems that he has some attainments in knowledge and valor. Did he send it just to boast of himself? The Murong's Path of Sword. You argue with the flow of Murong's sword in front of me. How dare you? I want to tear this letter up right now. However, it would be too shameful of me to display my temper in front of my granddaughter. As I've started to read, I should see how much this guy wants to show off. TCH. Is this serious? Who the hell sent this letter? Ah. I am the sword of Murong's self. I've been proud of myself all my life. Finally, I have identified the family sword. Lord, it's your granddaughter. Why is he not answering? What an exorbitant energy. Grandfather. Unbelievable. Grandfather faced the moment of enlightenment that is hard to come by once in a lifetime, and I saw it with my own eyes. This could mean God did not abandon the Murong household. I pray for grandfather's grand achievement. Sir Shim. Yes, miss. From now on, lock the front entrance and refrain anyone from entering. And let all the members in the household never make any noise. If needed, they can get some rest from work for now. All these control measures, make sure they are strictly implemented. Okay, miss. Not only that, call every disciple from the first to third generation and notify them to keep a watch on the evening rest pavilion. Are you talking about the evening rest pavilion? That's right. Keep an eye on the summer house for day and night, and make sure not to let anyone inside, not even a bird. Furthermore, from now proclaim its surrounding as a prohibited area. Stop up whoever approaches the area. Please make seats in front of the entrance to the evening rest pavilion and bring Sangha to me. We'll stay there and keep the place closed for now. Alright, I'll do so. Did anything happen there? It's a fortunate moment. Yes. Beyond heaven's reach Azure Dragon Sword Ruler, I heard there are many extraordinary heroes with special abilities in Jianghu. Now, that unfamiliar title is really giving a sense of grandness. Thanks to the new path of the sword he showed me. My heart feels like bouncing, just as I felt when I first grabbed the sword. Hoo hoo hoo. I can't just stay still knowing there are heavens above the heavens. Ha! Congratulations on your grand achievement. Congratulations on your grand achievement. Oh. Grand achievement, you say? Ha. You're right. It's truly a grand achievement. You must have suffered a lot because of me. Grandfather. I know. Don't worry about anything. I will take care of it now. Grandfather. Yes. You've done a great job as well, Sangha. Manager Shim. Yes, leader. Send a letter to the Iron family. The Great Murong family is officially requesting a sparring match. On the condition that if we lose this match, the Great Murong family will close its gates and leave the affairs of Hunan province forever. Grandfather, there's no need to go that far. Since our opponent is the feudal chief of Hunan province, shouldn't we be determined to do at least this much? That way, they won't have a justification for rejecting our challenge. Indeed, it is impossible for the Iron family head, who already reigns as the feudal chief of Hunan province, to happily accept a rematch. But since we're betting our entire family's fate on this, he'll be a laughing stock if he turns down our request. Grandfather must have thought this through. But how long has it been? It's been 3 days since you entered seclusion training, grandfather. 3 days, huh? How is Jean? Elder brother is. Forget it. Is he still wandering? It's not my fault, but I can't help but be disappointed since I had high expectations for him. You guys should get going. Tell the other disciples to get some rest because they've worked hard too. Yes, grandfather. Manager Shim. Pick a few reliable children and find the letter sender that came the other day. It will be challenging, but I want you to start investigating the transportation agency where the letter came from. Make sure to do it in secret so there'll never be a rumor that we're making our move. Keep in mind that the fate of our great family may change depending on the outcome of this event. Do you understand? You may go now. If we can find the Azure Dragon Sword Ruler, it'll no longer be a dream for the great Murong family to rise to the top among the 5 great families of Jianghu. Greenfield staged the day of the rematch between the great Murong family and Iron family. Hey, what do you think? TSK, what's there to think about? The great Murong family will most likely lose. What do you mean? The great Murong family is still a family with a long tradition. Seeing how they requested a rematch, doesn't it mean they are confident in winning? Maybe it's their final struggle. No matter how powerful they are, the appearance of the great Murong family over the past year can never be seen as what you would expect from a growing family. Unless he'd mastered some sort of rare martial arts, how easy is it to achieve great achievements in less than a year when the first sword Dan Chun Murong isn't even a newbie who just picked up his sword? As expected. It's not enough to break the Iron family's fighting spirit. Kuhu. As expected, those people have an eye for this. Family head, please watch your expressions. Ahem. Seriously, I can't even laugh. Since you are now the feudal chief of Hunan province, family head, you can keep your dignity as a feudal chief and get people to follow you only when you show manners comparable to the great Murong family. Iron family's advisor Jiang Jiangjiu. I know that, but being so formal doesn't suit me at all. Please listen to me. Fine. What do you think about that side? I don't know. Even the disciples are silent, so I can't tell what they're up to. Kakik. That's definitely the faces of those who go to a funeral. Those bastards from the great Murong family must feel like they've placed one foot into the coffin. Since they'll probably have to pack their things by this afternoon. Family head, manage your expression. Ugh. Then, I will ask Venerable Bei Quan, who oversaw your last match, to begin the spar. Alright. Cook. I lost. Stop. It's the great Murong family's victory. High Priest of Shaolin Venerable Bei Quan. Damn it. It's alright. Our disciples still have a 6-4 win advantage. That's not it. That old man's expression is strange. What the hell is going on? The winner hasn't been decided, but his expression hasn't changed even a bit. Something about his expression worries me. Family head, it's your turn now. Ha. I see. Wah. Damn. Why is he so relaxed? No one said anything about him going into seclusion training and polishing his martial arts, though. If there was, I wouldn't have accepted his request for the rematch. In the first place. There is no use in schemes now. Phew. I'll bet everything on my long saber. Here I come. I'm sure you both will show us a satisfying match as the leaders of your corresponding families. However, please bear in mind that this is a sparring match, so there's no need to take things too far. Your sparring match is highly anticipated in Shaolin as well.